In times of strife, showing compassion to those who oppose us can feel incredibly difficult. Our instinct may be to respond to hurt with hurt, or to see an adversary as a threat rather than a fellow human. Yet across cultures and ages, the wisdom of spiritual teachings urges a different response. True compassion is anything but weak, as the Dalai Lama reminds us. Compassion and tolerance are not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. Practicing empathy and mercy, even toward adversaries, is portrayed as a powerful force for good. It can break cycles of retaliation and transform enmity into understanding. The message is clear: even in conflict, choosing compassion can lead to healing and peace. Major faith traditions around the world echo this profound principle, each in their own way. Judaism, a rabbinic teaching, asks, who is the greatest of all heroes? One who turns an enemy into a friend. This wisdom from Jewish tradition highlights that true strength is found not in revenge, but in the courage to replace hatred with friendship and understanding. Christianity, Jesus Christ taught radical forgiveness and love. Love your enemies, do good to those who hate you. Rather than meet hostility with hostility, Christians are called to respond with grace. Even in persecution, this teaching urges believers to answer cruelty with kindness and prayer, not vengeance. Islam, the Holy Quran, likewise advises believers to respond to evil with goodness, promising that compassion can transform relationships, repel evil by that which is better, and thereupon the one whom between you and him is enmity will become as though he was a devoted friend. Prophet Muhammad demonstrated this principle in action. After years of facing hatred and violence, he forgave the very people who had persecuted him when he peacefully triumphed in Mecca, telling them, "Go, you are all free," instead of seeking retribution. His mercy turned former enemies into allies, exemplifying the Quran's teaching of compassion in victory. Buddhism, in Buddhist philosophy, compassion is the key to ending conflict. The Buddha taught that hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. In other words, responding to aggression with aggression only perpetuates suffering, while responding with love and understanding is the only way to break the cycle of hate. By cultivating metta, loving kindness, toward all, even those who harm us, we dissolve the fuel that feeds feuds and allow healing to begin. Hindu teachings also exalt compassion and forgiveness as divine virtues. An ancient epic, the Mahabharata, declares that forgiveness is the might of the mighty and that by forgiveness the universe is held together. In this view, showing mercy and patience even under injury is not a sign of weakness but a reflection of spiritual strength. Compassionate forgiveness is seen as so powerful that it upholds the moral order of the world. In practicing it, one aligns with Dharma, righteousness, and contributes to harmony in the cosmos. Each of these traditions, in its own language and context, converges on the same truth: meeting hate with hate only breeds more hate, but meeting hate with compassion can overcome it. Whether by loving our enemies, forgiving those who wrong us, or turning rivals into friends, the greatest spiritual teachers agree that compassion is the higher path in times of conflict. It humanizes our opponents and frees us from the bondage of bitterness. It doesn't mean yielding to injustice or avoiding necessary struggle. Rather, it means carrying ourselves with mercy and empathy even as we stand firm. This unwavering benevolence toward others, including those who oppose us, is upheld as the noblest response one can choose. From these universal teachings, one powerful message shines through: responding to conflict with compassion has the potential to transform our world. It breaks the cycle of anger and revenge that keeps conflicts alive. Instead of escalating division, compassion disarms it. As Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. so eloquently said, "Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that." By extending empathy and understanding in the face of hostility, we create the possibility for redemption and change, both in the other person and in ourselves. Choosing compassion, especially toward those who have hurt us, is not easy. It may even feel counterintuitive when we are caught in pain or turmoil. But this choice is a true act of courage and spiritual strength. It means seeing the humanity in our adversary and recognizing that bitterness only prolongs pain. When we find it in our hearts to forgive, listen, and show kindness instead of clinging to enmity, we reclaim control over the narrative of conflict. We begin to write a new story, one where healing is possible and common ground can be found. In practice, compassion in the face of conflict can be as simple as pausing to empathize with someone who disagrees with us, or refusing to return an insult with another insult. It can mean forgiving an old grudge, or helping someone who might not have helped us. These small acts echo the great teachings and carry profound weight. They chip away at the walls of resentment and open the door to dialogue and reconciliation. In summary, compassion is a light in the darkness of conflict. It has been championed by the sages, prophets, and leaders of every major faith because it speaks to a deep spiritual truth: all people are connected, and only through love can hatred be overcome. When we practice compassion towards our opponents, we do not condone wrongdoing or yield our principles, rather, we choose the path of healing over harm. We tap into a force that can turn enemies into friends, conflict into understanding, and turmoil into peace. So the next time you face conflict or confrontation, remember this timeless wisdom. Take a deep breath and seek the compassionate path. Instead of fighting fire with fire, try fighting it with water, the cooling water of empathy, patience, and love. It may surprise you how disarming and powerful such a response can be. In the face of anger, your compassion is a courageous act of peace. It is a reflection of the highest ideals that humanity has strived for throughout history. Compassion in the face of conflict is our challenge and our calling. It asks us to be empathetic when it's hardest, and kind when it's least deserved. Yet, by rising to this challenge, we become part of the solution and not the cycle. We create the conditions for understanding to grow. We inspire others to consider forgiveness over fury. In doing so, we uphold a legacy of wisdom as old as civilization and as relevant as ever today. Let us carry that legacy forward. In our lives, in our communities, and in our world, may we strive to overcome evil with good and meet hostility with compassion. This uplifting choice to love beyond boundaries can heal broken relationships and build bridges where none existed. It reminds us that even amid conflict, we have the power to choose unity and mercy. And in that choice lies the hope of a more peaceful, compassionate future for all.